with the sweetest rose color, my Rosalie McFall. I think that'll work.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a neat song, man. Rosalie McFall. And that was typically done in the key of E, and y'all may have noticed that Trevor is in with no capo. And he's got a secret tune in there. I think we want to show you all that. I'm going to get a banjo and let him show me that too. But there are a handful of tunes in the world that do come up that are in the key of E. Monroe played Footprints in the Snow in E. There's others.
In the Pines.
In the Pines is in E. So it does come up. And most of the time, like for me on guitar, I'm capoed it too, very carelessly. And I'm playing out of a D position, which works nice for Rosalie McFall. But I'm a guitar player and banjo player. For me to play out of E, I'm usually capoed. I'll often on banjo, I'll capo 2 and play out of D position. What do you usually do?
Well, I mean, usually for the key of E, I like playing without a capo. I like having the open strings.
Yeah.
Usually I'd take the 5th string up to this B note, which I feel like is kind of what most people would do. It's what Earl Scruggs did when he'd play out of E.
Right, but let me grab my banjo here real quick. You've done something.
I wouldn't consider it groundbreaking or nothing like that.
I don't know. This is... There are a few things that surprise me, and this is new to me. I mean, obviously, I knew that this could be done.
Well, yeah.
But it never occurred to me. But you have raised your 5th string to
A flat.
To an A flat.
Which, makes sense. You're just kind of copying what you do at an open D.
At an open D. And the reason the A flat works is it's the 3rd note of the scale.
Yeah.
So it can be our drone.
Yeah, just like having A over F or something like that. You have the A flat over E. And you just copy a lot of the open D tuning sounds that Earl Scruggs would get or something like that.
So if you're listening to the tuning of the banjo, we're in open G. So we raise. So you match that to your 6th fret, and really the only place this is going to work. I mean, it could work if you're playing out of A flat.
Yeah. At that point, you might as well just
slap
the cable off.
But it's really listening to the way that worked on Rosalie McFall really worked well in the key of E.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because so you
yeah.
I mean, so like with Rosalie McFall, if I tune here. I mean, that obviously works.
Yeah, but that note is just so far away from the rest of them, it sticks out so...
Yeah, it's like a stranger. He's like,
yeah.
Hey. So this gets everything all nice and tidy.
Yeah. Everything's a lot closer together.
Any thoughts on working out of this key, E position here? I mean, some songs are going to work better than others. Rosalie McFall works quite well.
Yeah. It's obviously a little bit trickier in a way than something like F, But like if you can just imagine that like closed F position chord, except just that second string is open. It's
almost like you would be fretting back here.
Yeah, but that's the 0, I guess.
Right.
All the same stuff works. Or whatever you want to do. So if you have any melodies out of that chord position, you can just transfer them down there. The other thing that I like is figuring out exactly what open strings you can use. So like obviously you have that B for the E chords. That's where you can get stuff like that. The other thing I like to do is borrowing some of the positions that you would use in G.
Okay.
Now, like this one, for example, that works, as with all your G licks, like something like that, but in a little bit more of a weirder way, it works.
Right.
It works
So
for E too.
Can we cram that in Rosalie McFall somehow?
Yeah, we could figure out how to do that. It might not be as pretty as the as the rest. Yeah, it might work better there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crunchy.
Yeah.
And if you need, but also like if that tune came up at a jam session somewhere, it would be fun to roll that out. Just tune that. The surprise factor.
Yeah.
It's not that most people are not going to expect the banjo player just to play out of.
Yeah, they might be waiting for you to put your capo on
Right.
the second or fourth fret or wherever you're going to.
They will look at you and say, "We're an E."
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
You're like, and you get to say, I know.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah, that's such a cool thing. So it's something for y'all to try and mess with, and try different tunes that you already know, maybe in E, and then try some of the things that are traditionally in E, like we mentioned, Footprints in the Snow, and In the Pines, if you want to. And fortunately for In the Pines, you're just kind of.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. You have a lot of time.
Just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to look at you for a banjo break. I mean, doing this, they're probably not going to look at you for a banjo break.
Yeah.
So I've known Trevor for, I don't know, quite a few years, over a decade.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't know Trevor Holder, look him up. He plays with the Price Sisters. He plays with 5 Mile Mountain Road.
Mm-hmm.
Who else you playing with?
Oh, the list is getting pretty,
The list is
pretty
long.
long right now. The other band I play quite a bit with is also based out of Virginia. They're called the Alum Ridge Boys in Ashley.
Right.
I've been filling in a bit with Cutter and Cash.
Okay.
And then play a lot of duo and trio shows, mainly with Connor Velitzstra out of Chattanooga. But that's more of a local thing.
So basically, if you need a banjo player, I mean, Trevor's hot to work right now.
Yeah, I could add a couple more to that list if I wanted to.
But you started playing when you were, what, 12?
Yeah, 11, 12
11,
or
12
so.
years old. And now, one of the things that Trevor and I talked about today is hand size. And Trevor's not a big guy. I'm a big guy. I've got big hands. We compared the amount of reach that we can reach on our banjo is like just. And there's a significant difference, but as Trevor put it earlier, it would matter if we played piano.
Yeah.
But on banjo, it really doesn't come up that much. And I know I talk about on my lessons, people have asked, like, what do I do with this D7 for Beverly Hillbillies? What do I do with this stretch that you showed us in East Tennessee Blues? And it's like, my answer to you is practice, keep trying. I know you can get it. And I know you can get it just based on Trevor. Hold your hand up there beside mine so they can see. So, I mean,
there you go.
So Trevor's fingers come up to about my bend.
And that's always been my handicap, is I have short fingers on top of it.
He's got a normal sized palm.
Yeah, but palms are fine.
But I mean, so like that. That's not a problem, right?
No.
Right, and then like that, yeah, not a problem there. I know there are other, so like the Cumberland Gap thing, I know a lot of you struggled. Well, I'm in a weird tuning. Right, but I love that sound. We're still in E. But that stretch you can make, and it's not that big. And there's I mean, and like that stretch, those are not the biggest things that I've seen you reach for when you're playing. I see you.
It can get ridiculous sometimes. I remember you showed me that chord a long time ago.
Oh, that C chord. Yeah, the C chord.
That's a pretty big one. And or that one.
Right.
But that's just two strings,
But it's still a stretch, and the main thing is obviously practice.
Yeah. And then I guess also just where you put your thumb and your wrist.
Right.
Because you can kind of unknowingly hold a lot of tension, especially with those tight little chords where like that one pinky has to stretch out, like in Cumberland Gap. You can really, you can see a lot of people like holding a lot of tension in their wrist, which causes their hand to come up like this. And then, then getting that pinky all the way out there becomes really difficult.
Right.
But, your wrist and your thumb, I know there's proper technique, but it's the banjo.
It is the banjo. We can't get too proper.
There's proper like ways to play the guitar or whatever, but I don't really follow that myself. It's just don't let wherever your thumb is or wherever your wrist is get in the way of letting your fingers do what they need to be doing.
Right. And another thing, if you watch Trevor, if you watch his left hand, watch his left arm. His left arm is real relaxed. It's down by his side. He's not flying away.
Forget about the elbow too. You could probably put that in a weird spot too.
Keep your elbow at your side. That will definitely help, and it makes things work a lot easier. I think we should play him another tune. Do we want to do something in E?
In E? I don't know. We could give it a shot. Just cold in E. We had you had talked about a good way to learn stuff. Like if you're wanting to practice out of this open E position, is to take songs you already know.
Take a song we know and try to play it in E.
In E. So what's a good one?
What about Home Sweet Home?
We could do Home Sweet Home. Yeah.
Or go for it.
Okay.
You first.
Yeah. one note gets to you.
I believe that'll work. Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in. If you like this sort of thing, be sure to leave a comment, hit a like button. And if you've not subscribed yet, and I don't know why you wouldn't, it's free. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to get notifications when I post new stuff, ring that bell. All right, folks, we'll see y'all later.